In a world searching for a light in the dark, there is only one two-man team with the balls to take you by the hand and lead you to the light. That one team is RantWorthy Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. It's another Sunday, October 1st, 2017. I'm your host, Lou Powell, with my co-host, Ryan. Mourn for Hugh Hefner.
What's going on?
He's very upset. And we are casting the pods from a sinker bunker in the heartland of America, Cincinnati, Ohio. Ryan, I feel like we're close enough, us, and close enough with the listeners by now, right? I mean, I should be able to talk however I want to talk by now, right?
Right.
There should be nothing uncovered. We're a family of a large family, and I feel like I can talk, right?
It's weird when there are people that I've never met before who act like they know me and know way, way too much about my personal life. I'm like, maybe I'm sharing too much, but well.
So why not dive a little further?
Yeah.
So with that, the other day, I am in the bathroom shaving the boys.
Okay.
And I nicked them. I nicked one of the guys.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention. Okay. And maybe this is a larger talk about manscaping, the whole thing. But just
I
in
have
general,
I already have input rolling
good.
through my brain.
My God, I wasn't even paying attention. I think I'm doing my thing. I'm like, I'm down there. I'm
Okay, can I ask some questions real quick?
Sure, let's go.
Okay, you use a razor, right?
Yes.
Okay, not a beard trimmer, nothing like that.
No.
Okay,
that has gone bad just way too many times.
that's where my brain went immediately.
Oh God, that's like I'm not taking like an edge trimmer by my nuts, like an actual bush trimmer. No, those little things. I remember when I was younger, I used those kind of things with like a no guard.
Yep.
And at one point, it was like I ran a shark's mouth into my ball sack.
The first time,
I was bleeding.
The first time you fuck it up and you want to scream.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's just blood everywhere, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, and you hear the terrifying noise of like it's going like a normal buzzer, like wee, and you're like, oh God, like the sound.
And when you
just
think of it,
deadened into my body.
That's a wrinkle that just went in there.
Yeah, and you just sliced a wrinkle. That was a folded sheet of paper that just got ripped in half.
Well, a nick is bad enough, but when you hit it with a beard trimmer, it hurts for days. It hurts like a bruise.
It's burning right now. I got to be honest. So, but dead serious. So I'm scaping it up, right? So I lather it up, right?
Oh, you do that?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure it's.
Are you in the shower? Okay, you're in the shower.
That is why this is actually a topic of mine this week. Is because I was in the shower. I think this is the first time it's ever happened in the shower, and I think. Because, I don't know, I'm in there washing and I get it all. I think I'm done. I'm good. And I'm washing my hair. I'm doing everything else, what little hair I have. And, except for the bush. Just kidding. I just cleaned it off at this time. So I looked down and it must have been dripping blood into the bathtub. And it looked like a murder scene. I don't know what the hell was going on. But every drip, it'd be one dollop of blood. But hitting like from that height and then the water, it was splashing. I looked down and it looked like the movie Psycho. There was blood just splashed all over the place. Like I got to it way too late and it was a mess.
What the fuck?
I was bleeding like a stuck pig. It was terrible and it freaked me the hell out. I was like, what is going on? I had no idea what it was, and I'm like tracing it back thinking I hit like a vein in my leg, that femoral artery or whatever that's like in your leg that you can die. I was like, what did I do? And I traced it down. I'm like, the sack.
Yep, there it is.
Bloody sack it was.
I'm going to, okay, so it's funny because we just discussed this about half an hour ago, how I'm like the Rain Man of stories over here. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but anytime we start talking about anything, things just like pop in. So I'm going to, I doubt you remember this. So when you would, we talked about the pranks and the things like that and how you would, there was a solid probably 6 months where I never took a shower without being disturbed.
Yeah.
So one of the big problems that I have with not being able to see is manscaping gets a little difficult.
Really?
Because I can't see at all. And so I'm like in there, like bending over, like really looking at it, trying to figure, make sure I don't miss anything. Right. And so One time you you snuck into the bathroom. You opened the door without me hearing. I guess I was concentrating pretty hard on what I was doing.
Right.
And you opened the shower door and saw me hunched over, and you were like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Did I really? I
I was like,
this.
"I'm cleaning up."
I cleaned my brain from this.
I was like, and you were like, "Why are you hunched over like that?" I was like, "I can't see." Like as I'm in the shower, you already have the water and there's stuff that's dripping in your eyes and stuff like that. And so I'm like bent over, like hunched over, trying to like Quasimodo up in there, trying to look to do it.
That is so funny.
Yep.
You gotta start wearing your specs in there, man.
I know, that's what I need to do. Get my rec specs.
There it is.
Oh my God. Get
Dang.
some defogger on those.
That would be the shit right there.
Dude.
Then you don't get water in your eyes and you can see down there.
Did we just come up with an
like
invention?
Picasso.
We just come up with a new invention here?
It's about time.
Dude, I'm about to put that out there.
Who knew?
Then I got to write a blog or something.
Like, do you have bad eyesight but still want to shave your nuts?
Yeah.
But you're afraid you're going to cover the place in blood? Rec specs.
There you go.
RantWorthy rec specs.
I'm bringing it back.
This week I had to prepare for speaking of my loins, my daughter is turning a year old on a Wednesday, and we were out shopping and doing all that bullshit. And it's kind of funny. I don't know if you do this only as a parent, but I notice, because I'm a big penny pincher myself, I can't, about myself, that's what's weird, is like when it comes to me, if I was to get Starbucks once in a day, I would feel really weird going a second time, because I'd be like, fuck, that's like another $3.50, and then that's $7. If I spent $7 a day on coffee, that's $210 in a month, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I start extrapolating, looking at and I'm like, fuck, over $3. But it's so funny how that goes completely out the window when you start shopping for your kid or your wife or anybody else. It's so weird. When I go out for my friends, like birthday presents or something like that, or my daughter,
You're like
or my
making
wife,
it rain all the time.
oh man, I spend money like it's my job to waste money. I spend so fucking much. It's just so weird, the hypocrisy. I'll be bitching about these smallest. My wife would go buy something small, and I'm like, $7 for a fucking bow. You know, I act like it's super ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I'll go out and I'll buy the most ridiculous, expensive, dumb shit ever, and I'm such a fucking hypocrite. I can't help it. It's just so weird. All those things just go out the window when
Right.
it's like somebody you care about, you'll spend everything. We went to a pumpkin patch yesterday. I'm doing a bunch of shit, a bunch of white girl shit that I never did in my entire life. I went to a pumpkin patch yesterday. To say I didn't fit in.
You are surrounded by girls now.
Oh, my God.
The estrogen levels are going to start taking effect at some point.
Everybody around me is a girl. I mean, from like our dogs to my wife's sister, who also has a daughter, our daughter. That's all I have around me is women all day long. I think the world has just been trying to calm me down since I was a kid. And then all my siblings that were born after my two oldest brothers were all girls.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, so everybody around me, from 4 sisters, my wife, her sister, we all have girls, her mom. I mean, it's
When you start crying at the Sarah McLachlan pet adoption commercial, then we know we're in trouble.
dude, no joke. That kind of shit is getting me more than ever. I was watching something on Facebook the other day, and it was some inspiring thing, and it was like a guy who turned his life around and blah, blah. And you know what it was? It was that, did you see that a thing where those 2 younger black dudes were in like an inner city fighting, and the dude
in the
walks
intersection?
up, and the dude walks up like, why are you guys fighting? Look, these people, they're making you look like a dumbass. Look, they're having a good time just watching you 2 people fight. Well, they had the guy that broke up the fight, and then the 2 kids on Steve Harvey, and they were talking about it, how those 2 kids are like friends now, and how they want to be like leaders in their community, and what that guy's done for other people. Dude, I'm watching this thing, and I swear on my life, I got teary-eyed. I was like, oh my God, I am changing so fast. I used to just flip through that shit and not give a fuck, and now, it's horrible, man. I'm changing.
In the arms of
I've been eating tons of edamame, and I don't know what's happening. This week, we did have I feel like it's a large death in terms of like societal impact and money and the whole nine, though, we'll talk about what it means to us specifically, but it's a large death, right?
It is I gotta say, Hugh Hefner has got to be one of the most recognizable names in the world.
I mean, from what he wears to what he did, I mean, I feel like everyone is pretty informed on that guy's life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Hugh Hefner.
Right.
I mean, that's like that's what it's in there
He's
with.
a known guy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So here's a video that we found that gives a quick synopsis of this fella.
He started a revolution and sparked a whole lot of controversy. Hollywood tonight is saying goodbye to Playboy icon Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, his parties were infamous. His exes
I like
were
how
wild,
a guy is
and
dead,
the stars
but
he
it's some
stripped down
upbeat
are
music.
Too many to count.
Hey!
But he was there for it all.
What is she wearing?
Hello there, I'm Hugh Hefner.
Hi, Hugh.
During his 91 years of life, Hugh Hefner not only built an empire,
It isn't just a magazine, it's a lifestyle.
but he embodied the true meaning of Playboy.
We all get in the shower and we sing. Good girls like sex too.
Nobody mastered the art of selling sex quite like Hugh.
Somebody had to do it, and I'm glad it was me.
The magazine quickly became an international phenomenon. It gained popularity for its tasteful nudity and even featured a number of famous faces over the years.
For me, I think it was more about just doing beautiful pictures for myself.
But Hef is also known for living life, mostly in a sailor hat or pajamas. Yeah, anyone who can make this an iconic look is winning.
He looks like a complete asshole.
Yes, he
From the
does.
very beginning, he surrounded himself with beautiful women that were often half his age.
I think that age is not a serious consideration. I think beauty exists in many forms. Let's just say I love the girls.
In 1985, David Letterman grilled Hef on Late Night about his personal life and preference for younger girls. Hugh, of course, was charmingly unapologetic.
What about somebody 50? Would you go out with a woman 50?
Well, probably not romantically, but
He's like, not romantically. That's fucking disgusting. So I thought it was interesting, to see the way that E would mildly celebrate this guy. And then what's really fun is that you get the other flip of the coin from the New York Times. They gave a quick synopsis on him too. Ryan, show us what they wrote about him in the New York Times.
All right, I'll give you a little overview of this article here. Hugh Hefner, gone to his reward at the age of 91, was a pornographer and chauvinist who got rich on masturbation, consumerism, and the exploitation of women, aged into a leering grotesque in a captain's hat, and died a pack rat in a decaying manse where porn blared during his pathetic orgies.
God.
Hef was the grinning pimp of the sexual revolution with quaaludes for the ladies and Viagra for himself, a father of smut addictions and eating disorders, abortions and divorce and syphilis, a pretentious huckster who published updike stories no one read while doing flesh procurement for celebrities, a revolutionary whose revolution chiefly benefited men much like himself.
Good Lord.
That is the first... It is like the nicest way to say "go fuck yourself" that I've ever heard.
Jesus. That's the most well-written fuck off, I'm glad you're dead.
That is the first 2 paragraphs of this article, and it goes on for days.
Oh my God, that is long as hell.
So
They wrote a good 60-page book on why he fucking sucks. And you know what's bad for guys like us? If you're 30 and under, you don't give 2 fucks about a guy like Hugh Hefner.
No.
Is it weird? Me personally, I heard he died, and I did not give a shit at all. I don't know if I've ever looked at a Playboy in my life.
Well, it's like we said the internet killed Playboy.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about that stuff. Now, if all of a sudden, to our generation, if you were like, the guy who invented Pornhub is dead, there might be some people actually crying. Or they're like, the guy that made Suicide Girls overdosed last week. There's going to be people really freaking the fuck out. Hugh Hefner, who cares? The guy really was a shithead. It's like, if you can be even richer or make some money or whatever by just posing nude, and it can get even better if you lay on top of his disgusting, decrepit, old, fucked up looking body. God damn. He's an ugly motherfucker too. And at 90, just Viagra'd up with a rock hard fake boner, and these poor girls having to sleep with him. Oh God. The whole thing is just so gross.
My reaction basically was I was walking up the aisle at work. I was scrolling through Twitter, saw it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, continued on my way. That's pretty much it.
My thing is, I guess he did what he wanted. You know what I mean? He redlined it for a long time. Just partying, just doing whatever the hell he wanted. He lived. I mean, not necessarily the way that I would want. I mean, I would think that a guy that makes his entire life just about that kind of stuff, I gotta wonder what kind of demons he had. You know what I mean? To not desire a real life at all.
He lived the life that a lot of broy dudes like to joke about having, but nobody actually wants to have.
Yeah, not sure if you really want that. Yeah, so. It is like the college bro's dream. And then he for real did it to the end. I don't think anybody will ever be like that guy ever again. I don't know if you can be that guy.
Can we talk about how fucked up his kids probably are?
Oh, they gotta be. I mean, and he was never around, I'd assume. He was married multiple times.
Yeah.
I just,
Very strange.
It's funny. It's such a gigantic death, and I would assume our generation couldn't care any less.
Yep, I 100% agree.
You were saying at work this week you're already setting up Christmas. How the hell is that possible? We were just the other day talking about how you were setting up Halloween, and we're already on Christmas? How is that possible?
Welcome to the world of retail. That's the way it works.
I don't even understand how you can do it. So, did you get rid of Halloween assuming everybody's ready, or are they on top of each other?
Nope, they're like next to each other right now, so they run into each other, and then we'll start clearancing out Halloween like the week before Halloween. It's funny because when you are buying Christmas, if you haven't bought your stuff before Black Friday, you might as well just be like, sorry, because that's when it starts to go. We don't stop getting stuff in. And so we just sell through what we have, and that's it. But yeah, we set Christmas in September this year. It's funny because every time we have a set like this, especially Christmas, there are like 4 different people I've noticed working retail that come in. You have the moderates, basically, like in terms of political, they come in, they don't say anything, they're just kind of like, huh, all right. Then you have the people who are overly excited. So you will have people who are in there, guaranteed.
Like Elf.
Oh, yeah. I'm opening the first box of like stock to put on the shelf, and they're already shopping it. They're like, how much does that cost? And, this and that. You've put one thing on the shelf. How much is that? I'm like, dude, I opened it 30 seconds ago. Why don't you chill? Come back tomorrow. It'll still be here. It's like, and then you have the people who are so upset that Christmas is being set that they feel the need to yell at you as a worker, like, I can't believe you're setting Christmas already. Like, they're outraged. And they're like, it gets earlier every year. No, it doesn't. It's the same time every year.
You know what is weird about that? I do see people like on Facebook and other places complaining about that kind of stuff.
Oh, it is ridiculous.
God, they're setting it up already, just wanting us to spend our money. No one is making you buy shit. So I don't know why it's so offensive to you.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less if you set it up in July. What the fuck do I care?
Well, and then like the last set, I tell you what makes the day though is like I was telling you that there was when you get the kids in there, and these kids get so excited. Like Halloween is one thing, but Christmas, the kids get so pumped. It's like the first reminder of like, oh, it's not that far away.
Oh yeah, it's about to be party time.
There was this little girl who was like, and at the store we have like one of the carts that we have like has like it looks like a race car basically, and so the 2 older kids were sitting in front, and then the other one was sitting up like in the basket area. She was probably like 2.5, somewhere around there, and she's walking through. I'm flipping through our paperwork trying to make sure, like, wrapping up for the day, and this little girl looks over as we're putting up like the last of the displays. She looks over at the Christmas stuff, like goes death grip onto the bars on the front of this thing, lifts up out of her chair and just goes, yeah! And I was like, oh my, this is the reaction that I need to see all day, because this has just made my day, seeing this little girl get so pumped at Christmas over here. And I was like telling her mom, was like, this just made my day. Like, for all the people who walked by and were like irritated and grumpy, like seeing the one kid who's like so pumped that Christmas is coming made my day.
I was never that pumped for Christmas. I swear, I've been a Halloween guy my entire life. When I was a kid, I loved Halloween. Christmas is cool. I love the feeling and how fun it is. It's great, but to me, Halloween is the shit.
Yeah, I love Halloween. My birthday is 2 days after Halloween too. So like when I was a kid, that was definitely like my favorite time.
Right.
For sure. Like, and it also like kicked off Halloween season for me. So the other thing though, we were setting Christmas. I had a kind of an interesting thing happen the day of Christmas. So we set that, and I was so busy all day, like managing what was going on. I'm a pretty routine guy when it comes to a work day, right? So I drink a lot of coffee, go in there, you got to do your business around.
What's a lot of coffee?
I think I drink at least two 32-ounce coffees from Dunkin' Donuts every day.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That is so much coffee.
One in the morning and one after work. But I had my first one, and I go through the day. I didn't have time to take my 7 o'clock number 2, my 7 o'clock brown.
Okay.
And so
that's the time.
That's the time.
Okay.
Yep. And so I start working through it, and I'm kind of whatever, and I make it through the day, and I get my coffee after work, and I have to. I typically kill time after work before going to the gym or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I take a sip of my coffee after work, and it hits me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I need to get to the bathroom as fast as possible right now. So I'm going to Kroger anyway because I'm going to get a salad. So I rush over there. I get in there, and I get in the stall, and I sit down. I'm like, okay, got it. And the weird thing about this, and just kind of side note before I get into this, is it took me a long time to get to the point where I could take a number 2 in a public place and not feel like rushed or nervous about it.
Okay.
And so when I was at college, you had to get used to that because it was like that's all you had.
Right.
And so I got over that, and now at work, like I do it every day, and it's no big deal. And so I'm in the bathroom at Kroger. It's a 1-stall bathroom, and I'm scrolling through your phone. That's what that's for, That's the best time to have a smartphone.
Yeah.
And so I'm going through there, and all of a sudden this guy throws the door open and starts knocking on the stall door. And I was like, I'm in here. And he was like, how much longer are you going to be? And I was like, I don't know, man.
Do a quick pressure check. Like, it's going to be a second.
Well, and immediately the nervous shits come back. And I'm like, I got to get through this. And so I'm like trying to wipe, and he is like huffing and puffing outside of the toilet door. Because if it were me and I came in and I saw the stall was occupied, I'm going out of the bathroom.
I'm going to shit in the sink.
I'm going to go walk around for a minute.
Yeah, that, yeah.
And so, and you're in a grocery store, come back, But this guy is standing, and it was weird to me. I don't know why, but wearing flip-flops in a public bathroom to me is just it was kind of disturbing
it's too
too.
Close.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at his toes as he's tapping his foot and he's like,
Side note, it's not okay to wear mandals.
Dude, no.
I don't know what it's so disgusting looking.
I can't wear
No one
them.
wants to look at your fucking feet.
Yeah.
You sick
After
freak.
you get over a certain age, your feet are gross anyway. So it's like...
Yeah, they're fucking disgusting.
So, but yeah, so he's huffing and puffing, and of course, because I had the nervous shits, now I've got endless wipes. So I just keep pulling toilet paper, and I can't imagine what this guy is thinking as I just keep pulling toilet paper over and over and over again, to the point.
He's like, "Goddamn, buddy!"
Yeah, until I hear him huffing and puffing, to the point where I finally get done. I'm borderline blood wipes here, and I drop the last bit in there. I go to flush the toilet, and what do you think it does?
Clogs.
It fucking clogs
Of
because
course.
I use so much toilet paper. So I hit the stall door, got out, washed my hands, and was out the door in under 10 seconds because I was like, I am not going to be...
You left it clogged?
I left it clogged.
You son of a
I
bitch.
was not going to be there to react. I heard him flushing as I was walking out the door. I was like, I got to get out of here now.
That's a nice little fuck you, though.
I know. It was like a little...
You want to harass me? You should have just no-flushed it.
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
left it full of shit.
Oh,
you know
dude,
what?
it was
Take
not
this.
pleasant either. It was not pleasant. So, but yeah.
Man, that's terrible. I don't think I've ever been harassed in a stall in my entire life, but I don't know what my reaction. I feel like I would have gotten violent. You are nicer than I am. I would have been like, "Hey, buddy, go fuck yourself."
Avoid the
And
confrontation
stop harassing
at
me
all
while I'm
costs.
taking a shit.
Yeah. So,
You want to come in here and sit on my lap? We'll fucking knock this out.
so
Jesus. Let's answer some questions.
What do you mean? When you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no. What do you mean?
get educated.
Another play for the Beebs.
Where we at? Let's get educated this week.
All right.
Some good ones this week.
I love it. So, question number 1. Where does Afro Man live?
I have no idea. I barely know who he is.
All right, let me give you some background on this. Because
isn't that the Colt 45s and 2 zigzags guy?
Yep, old crazy rap.
Yeah.
So, so it's funny because when I look at some of these questions, I have to like do a little background on to figure out why somebody would ask this question. So there was a rumor going around the internet that Afro Man is homeless and living in a van, and so I can assure you that according to the interwebs, Afro Man has a little bit of money. His net worth is $100,000, and he actually lives in Adams County, Ohio. The reason I found this out is because on Reddit there were multiple. He posted on Twitter about finding some kind of animal, and he was trying to find the owner for it. And when he did that, he posted, and so people found out where he lived. And there were multiple people on Reddit who were like, "Oh my God, Afro Man lives in the same neighborhood as me."
Oh, sick!
Yeah, so
he's kind of a normal guy.
Yeah, he just lives in like Adams County. From what I was looking at, it's about 2 hours east of Cincinnati. Like it follows the Kentucky border, like towards, where Ashland is, West Virginia. It's like towards West Virginia, so it's like the middle of the bottom of Ohio.
So really, I mean, this is like the third time he's come up on this show in 6 months.
You are correct.
So I feel like we're gonna eventually have a run-in with Afro Man.
Here's the thing. I don't think it would be that difficult to have Afro Man on as a guest.
I wonder if we could sing the song together. I was never a fan, but I'll fake it for just him.
I'm 100%
I know you were a
fan.
I was not. That I felt like back when that came out, I was in high school or so, that song, and we had such great hip hop for so long that when that came out, I almost started being like the old man who's like, this new music is shit. Like everyone was really happy about that song, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Stop listening to
music. You're sitting on your porch yelling at
yeah,
young kids.
I was done. I was like, I'm not listening to this anymore.
All right, next question. How do I relieve constipation?
Dude, no joke. I remember I went 2 or 3 days one time not shitting. And I went to my work and I was asking a bunch of people, hoping there'd be some older guy that's like dealt with this before. And I was like, hey, I haven't shit in a couple of days, and I'm not trying to just slam laxatives or anything. And you know what they told me to do? They told me to put soap or shampoo or something like that on my finger.
No.
And put it in my ass.
Somebody's fucking with you.
Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't do it because that seems mildly invasive, and I don't know if maybe it's just like, yeah, no, you put a bunch of like soap in your ass, you'll take a shit. Yeah,
dude, the first time you get a really bad case of it, it's fucking scary, dude.
Oh, I know.
And like I can remember the first time it happened to me, I was like in the fetal position on the couch, and I'm thinking to myself, they're gonna have to cut this shit out of me. I'm not gonna be able to get it out. It's like they're gonna have to open me up and pull poop out of my intestines because I cannot get this out.
And it's as dry as a bone in there.
God.
Oh, God. I know the time where I was complete opposite of constipated. I was dropping weight one time, trying to make 145. I walk around 170s, and I was competing at 145. And I remember I was not going to make weight. I was like, I had no more water, nothing left. I wasn't going to have anything left in me. And I took this little drink from like a CVS that was like a liquid laxative thing. And good God, I was shitting through a screen door. It was so bad. It sounded like at one point I was pouring water slowly out of my butt.
What was it? Milk of magnesium? Is that what it normally is?
Man, I don't remember.
It's like the little clear one that comes in the glass bottle.
It was a little clear bottle, and it was little clear bottle. And I remember the one that said like lemon, and oh God, and it did not taste like lemon. It was like I was drinking someone's piss. It was so bad. But I can tell you, it didn't take an hour, and I remember I was at work too, and at the time I think I was like, I wasn't newer, but I like switched buildings, so I wasn't in control of things anymore, so I was back to being a normal operator for a while, and I had to run back and forth to the bathroom so many times, because it was threat level midnight. There was no holding it. I was going to shit my pants.
So as a manager, I've had a couple instances where I've had people tell me like, And I think to myself, they have had to tell me like, hey, just so you know, I have really bad diarrhea right now. If I'm gone, that's why. And I always think about that. I'm like, at what point is diarrhea so bad that I tell my manager
That's
I
bad.
can't I can't be concerned with staying on the floor anymore.
People do end up telling you some shit when you're in management positions. I heard one this week that a guy literally told me not to tell, so I'm not gonna do it. But man, he told me something, and yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, "There's certain bits of information that I don't need whatsoever."
Just tell me it's personal, and we'll move on.
But this was an actual question, so help us. How do I relieve constipation?
Okay, so this is from WebMD. So there you go. Try gentle exercise. Take a short walk each day, and gradually increase your walking time until you're walking for at least 20 minutes. Make sure you drink enough fluids. Most adults should try to drink between 8 to 10 glasses of water of non-caffeinated beverage each day. Avoid alcoholic beverages.
Look, do you realize what that just told you? Like, drinking coffee doesn't count as water, dipshit. That's what that just said to you.
Yeah. Avoid alcoholic beverages and caffeine, which can increase dehydration. If you have heart failure or kidney failure, talk to your doctor about what amount of fluid is right for you. Include fruits, vegetables, and fiber each day. Have a bran muffin or bran cereal for breakfast. Try eating a piece of fruit for a mid-afternoon snack. Schedule time each day for a bowel movement. Establishing a daily routine may help. Take your time. Do not be in a hurry. Hey, don't push. It's bad for your blood pressure.
Yeah.
Support. Mr. Ray Hughes. He got me hip to this. It's a great tool here. Support your feet with a small step stool when you're sitting on the toilet. This will help you flex your hips and place your pelvis in a more normal squatting position for having a bowel movement.
People are going to call us shitcast this
Dude,
week.
it is. If you are still constipated, add some processed or synthetic fiber. Try a stool softener. Try a suppository. Put that last.
There we go.
You may also need to try a laxative. And we all know what those do.
Good God. Okay. Well, so pretty much do all the drink water, eat vegetables and fruits. And if it doesn't work, take one of those things that it will force you to spew.
I feel like water and fiber are like the two biggest things, because those, for a normal person, those may be some things that you're not getting enough of in your diet. I can tell you if I drink like too much, if I'm not drinking enough water, I feel it in that. So
yeah.
All right, next question. What are shin splints?
Those are like the best excuse to not run in high school.
Oh my
right?
God.
Sorry, coach. I got shin splints. Can't do it.
When you legitimately have shin splints, there is not much more painful in the world.
It is so bad.
And so what I was looking at, and what you don't know is what a shin splint actually is. So what it basically is you've put so much force on the tissue that surrounds the shin bone that you can actually create micro tears in the fibers in the muscle and micro fractures in the shin itself, and it swells and the inflammation starts pushing on your shin. And so really the only way that you can fix this is rest. And so the big thing with this is if you don't ever want to go from not working out at all to like going balls to the wall on it. You got to really work your way into it. And if you start to feel shin splints, make sure you're taking rest.
Every chubby kid in my high school would always say this. Like, sorry, I have shin splints. I can't do it.
Can't run the mile today, coach.
Sorry.
All right. Next question. What are the 7 continents?
That's pretty easy, right? So just go left to right. North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, and then the one on the bottom, Antarctica.
Is it on the bottom?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot the flat earth. Sorry.
So here's what I found interesting about this. Depending on where you live in the world, there may not be 7 continents.
But there are, though.
Would you like me to explain further?
Sure, good.
Okay, so...
Okay, you pulled up a map, too.
I did. So in China, India, Pakistan, Philippines, Western Europe, most English-speaking countries, we are taught a 7-continent model. But there are different countries that teach 6, 5, and 4 continent models.
How is that real?
It's real. It's real. So Some of the countries that teach 6-continent models are Russia, parts of Eastern Europe, Japan, France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Romania, Latin America. And then there's actually a 5-continent model as well that is taught in some areas as well.
So what they're combining in here is North and South America. They just call it America.
Yes.
They just call it Murica.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the 4-continent model, they have combined Africa, Asia, and Europe, and they call it Afro-Eurasia.
How in the fuck can that be together? Afro-Eurasia?
Does that not sound like the best reggae band name ever?
But I love them. They opened for Bad Brains. They were so good. Wait, how can you put those places couldn't be more different? Africa, Asia, and Europe. That's why. I mean, they couldn't be any more different. They have very specific things to their areas, you know, and different cultures. I don't know how you could ever put those together. Like putting Asia and Europe together on the 6-continent model, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like they just got bored.
Yeah.
Let's just call it America.
Let's just fuck with us.
That just doesn't make any goddamn sense. Who knew? So if somebody asked that lives in another country, they'd be like, "You're wrong. There's only 6."
Yep. So it's very interesting. There's a nice little map that's on online that you can take a look at. So if you're interested.
Wait,
in that.
who's the assholes that are teaching 4? Does that say that on there?
4 is 13.
5-continent model.
Looks like there are some island countries that teach that one, and it's also been
So it's
used,
just because they're dumber.
And it's been used by the United Nations for certain portions
God
too.
Damn it.
Yep. So there you go.
Wow. Who knew? I had no idea about that.
I didn't either. All right. Okay. Next question. What can I do with lots of maple syrup?
How in the world is that a question that shows up? I don't know who has an overabundance of maple syrup.
Hey, man. It's what the internet wants to know.
I remember you said that we know one thing. They're Canadian.
That was the first thing I said, yes.
You know that it's a white woman who's Canadian. I have no idea what in the world you do with a bunch of maple syrup.
She's got taps in like all of her trees out there on her land.
I don't know what you do for that. I mean, all you do with a lot of maple syrup is just you make every amazing breakfast out there, right? I mean, what else can you do? You're just eating pancakes and waffles, making donuts and covering them in maple syrup. I'm hungry now, but I feel like that's all you do. What in the world do you do with shitload of maple syrup?
The fact that you turn to the internet to ask, like, I've got all this maple syrup. Like, what should I do?
This is getting out of control. I went in my garage the other day, and it is full of syrup. Let me go to Google.
She's like,
how do I get rid of this shit?
She's a hoarder. She's like, I don't know how to get rid of it. So
God damn it, of maple syrup. I can't believe that this is an issue. And on top of not knowing, I can't even help you.
Yeah.
God save you. You have a real fucking problem.
So that was my favorite question this week. All right, next question. When are peaches in season?
My big old peach is in season all year long.
That's right. For the peach emoji on...
That's right. I use that thing often.
All right. So while peaches are ready as early as May and available until late September, peach season is at its peak in July and August. Although since peach season began early this year due to warmer weather, it'll wrap up sooner than usual.
Goddamn global warming. They're going to make peaches skyrocket this winter. Son of a bitch.
Right. Next question. When does the time change?
Yeah, so that's right there. It says November 5th.
Yep. Which
is good because you spring forward, but you fall back.
Correct.
So we're going to gain an hour of sleep.
So every like few years, my birthday falls on the time change day, and I get a 25-hour birthday.
Nice. Oh, a longer birthday.
Yep.
Sick.
Yep, that's pretty sweet. All right.
This one was so confusing to me.
Next question. When do puppies lose their teeth?
I had no idea that puppies lost their teeth at all.
Yeah.
Everything is cuter without teeth.
Well, what is interesting to me is that so not only do they lose their teeth, but they gain almost double what they had previously. It's like they gain, they lose 20, well, I guess not double, but 28 puppy teeth are replaced with 42 adult canine teeth.
Math is hard.
And it is math. Not my best subject. So, at around 4 months of age, and it can vary from breed to breed and even from dog to dog. Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The 28 puppy teeth are replaced with 42 adult canine teeth, which include the molars. You will see 6 incisors on the top and bottom. These are the smaller front teeth located between the large fang-like canines.
Did you know that dogs lost their teeth? Did you know that seriously?
I thought that my dog is a hillbilly, and he likes to chew on things really badly, and so he has teeth that are missing because he's an idiot. And so he has one tooth in the middle on the bottom that is missing, and so when he starts panting, he looks like a hillbilly. So
I had no clue that dogs lost their teeth ever. I did not even know this was a thing.
I didn't know it was like human beings. No,
I want to see a puppy with all its teeth missing though, because that sounds like the cutest thing ever.
It does.
My daughter not having teeth when she smiles, it's so funny. I love it. She only has 2 teeth right now, so when she smiles, she looks like a little pumpkin. Super cute. I know that when she actually gets all her teeth, I will 100% love her less. Just kidding. No, I still love her.
I like the dramatic pause there.
They're way cuter though.
Yeah.
I'll miss the no teeth her for
Gumming it
a
up.
long time.
Well, yeah, and then you're gonna have to deal with teething when that comes in too. I'm sure that'll be.
She got the 2 and she was good so far. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What food is totally overrated?
Man, there's so many. I tell you which thing is the most consumed to me that I don't get it is fucking milk. Dude, milk is disgusting.
I am so glad you said that. I fucking hate milk.
I can't stand milk.
Dude, especially like whole milk that it's like I take a drink of it and I'm like,
it's so disgusting.
It like sticks to the inside of your mouth.
It's because it's full of fat from a cow udder. It's so gross. I do not drink milk fucking hardly ever.
No.
And I try to avoid it at all costs. Since I've been probably 18 years old, I'd be lucky to have drank a gallon in the last 13 years.
I will have skim milk with cereal.
Okay.
And if I'm drinking a glass of milk, it will for sure be coconut milk or almond milk. I will not drink
almond
regular
milk. I'll
milk.
drink.
Yeah. It is so foul.
I got another one for you.
Okay.
Velvet cake. Red velvet cake. Shit.
See, I like it.
You want to know why you don't like it?
Why I don't like it?
Red velvet isn't anything. It's a fucking normal cake. Red velvet is a food coloring. Red velvet isn't a flavor.
I'm just fascinated by the color of the cake.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I got married, we were going through all that kind of shit. And the place we went to was telling us how, how all their stuff is organic and natural and blah, blah, blah. And we tried to buy like a red velvet at one point because it's what my wife asked for. And they were like, red velvet actually, like, we can't make that because there are no natural ingredients because there's no such thing as red velvet cake. It's just food dye.
What's the flavor of it then?
It's just dye. I'm not sure, but I know, but there is no such thing as fucking red velvet, and it's just food coloring.
I feel like I've been lied to right now.
Yeah. So
the cake is a lie.
Red velvet cake, bullshit. Fuck it. You might as well just have vanilla. I'll tell you another one that sucks. McDonald's Whoppers. McDonald's Big Macs.
Dude, Big Macs are terrible.
They're fucking disgusting. I had an argument this week about Whoppers and Big Macs. Somebody tried to tell me that Whoppers are gross.
Dude,
I about smacked him in the face.
If you're eating a fucking cheeseburger from McDonald's anyway, come on now.
That shit is disgusting.
You go there for the fries. Let's be honest here.
Exactly.
And if you get a cheeseburger while you're there, but it's not the cheeseburger is not the destination item.
First of all, if you're eating fast food, something's wrong with you in the first place because the shit's disgusting. But if you're going to eat something, Whoppers are the best burger there is on the fucking market when it comes to fast food.
Absolutely agree.
Nothing fucking close.
And
Big Macs are fucking gross.
And now that fucking McDonald's is serving breakfast 24 hours a day, if you're not buying breakfast when you go through there, you're fucking up.
Yeah. I had some pancakes this morning.
There you go.
It's Sunday, time to eat like an asshole. Boom, pancakes.
That's what I'm saying.
Another thing that's disgusting, overrated, coconut water.
Dude, coconut water is so gross.
Yes, exactly. Coconut water is so gross. I do not get it. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast for the longest time. They were like, I'm telling you, this C2O is blah, blah, blah. I luckily have a store by my house that sells everything called Jungle Gyms. I go to Jungle Gyms and they have everything. And I get this coconut water. I'm like, oh, I found the key now. Rogan said that I must have drank a teaspoon of this stuff and I just threw it away. I was like, never again. And it was one of those big cans. I mean, they're huge. It's about the size of a full quart of almond milk. I took a drink and I was like, nope, threw it away.
Dude,
never again.
After that first weigh-in for my first competition, we bought those because Ray was like,
yeah,
get some electrolytes back.
Yeah.
I took like 2 sips and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I don't care how thirsty I am. I cannot drink this
it is
at all.
So gross and I don't get it. And if you drink coconut water, you're an animal because that is just so bad. You know, I did think of this though. When we were talking about overrated foods, one underrated that I feel like, though it's gaining a lot of steam, so I'd say it's not underrated in terms of accepted right now, but people either say they love it because they've tried it or they say it's gross even though they've never had it. Sushi.
Dude, sushi is so good.
If you're not eating sushi, you are fucking up because people that say, ooh, it's gross, I can't tell you how often I bring sushi up to somebody and they go, oh, that's gross. And I'm like, have you ever had it? And they say no. Well, like, you just got to go try it. You got to start with a California roll. That is like the pumpkin spice latte. That's the white girl version of sushi. That'll get you in the door, and then you can slowly get a little crazier.
Dude, we got wild. You remember that buffet we went to where you and I ate baby octopus?
Yeah.
And it was like, when I say baby octopus, we're not talking sliced up and put it into a roll.
Oh, it wasn't nice.
No, these people dropped a baby octopus onto our plates.
It made me shiver.
We went deep.
It just made me shiver.
I had to cut one of its tentacles off, and I could feel the little suckers in my mouth.
It was gross.
I was like, all right.
I didn't like it, to be fair.
I did not like it either.
It wasn't good.
At least I tried it.
I did try it, though, but man, it wasn't good.
No, it was not.
We did get deep for a minute, and
Yeah.
I've had some crazy stuff now when it comes to sushi, but man, I love sushi. You feel so clean after you're done. You don't feel overly stuffed. It doesn't really feel like you're cheating while you're doing it. It was so damn good.
Like, I love a good rainbow roll, and that's one of like the ones that has the raw fish rolled on the outside, and people get all worked up about that. So,
yep.
All right, next question. Who is Cardi B?
I have absolutely no idea.
So
Cardi B.
No. Okay, so Cardi B she has a new single called Bodak Yellow, which peaked at #1 on the Billboard charts.
Damn, on the Billboard chart. Okay.
She is the first female rapper to top the chart as a solo act since Lauryn Hill's That Thing, which
God damn.
both of us are big Lauryn Hill fans.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's like what is it? The Education of Lauryn Hill. It's something like that. But
yeah. I always think of the cover. That's like what I can see.
Yeah,
it looks like
brownish.
Yep.
Like, yeah, man, that album was crazy. I mean, she came out of the Fugees and then did her solo project, and it got so much acclaim. I mean, it was gigantic.
And I always think about like her. She's such a good artist too. Where she would
she's amazing.
She'd play live, and she'd be like playing like difficult stuff on the guitar and rapping over top of it. I'm like, you are a freak.
And she's great at singing.
Yeah.
Her writing is really good. I mean, all around.
Good sense of style.
Really talented. So this is the first person to do this since her.
Correct. And so I wanted to...
So I would imagine it'd be roughly prolific.
Yeah, I wanted to show you the song and see what you thought of it.
Okay. Let's watch it. So it's actual rap. Okay.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Say, little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the store, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose, and I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move.
This
I don't gotta dance, I make
is
money
so
move.
disrespectful.
That means I don't fuck with you. I'm a
It's like Nicki Minaj, the sequel.
How in the world is this #1? I don't even understand. What makes something #1?
I think it has to do with sales and like
Really?
plays and
People
like
bought this?
Yeah.
Just to party, I'm there, I get paid a fee. I be in and out them banks so much, I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't give give a fuck about who ain't
I think she rips the cadence of like Kendrick Lamar and Chance the Rapper so much. Like I hate that everything has that cadence now.
Yeah. I feel like this is why updated rappers change their style so much.
Yeah.
My pussy feel like a lake. He wanna swim with his face. I'm like, okay. I let him get what he want. He buy me East Saint Laurent and the new whip. When it go fast as a horse, I got the.
I mean,
I'm the hottest in the street.
yeah. So that's basically the entire song.
Wow. The thing is, they couldn't be any more different.
I know.
I feel like Lauryn Hill really sets like a good example even for women. I mean, you know what I mean? She always came off very positive and self-empowered. And that girl just said something about like letting a dude fuck her, and just as long as he buys her a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's what's like. So she used to be an exotic dancer, let's say in the proper term.
Stripper.
Yeah. So and
which, you know, whatever.
Then she got popular online, and then was on a reality show, and then became a rapper. And like this is her first big rap single that came out, but it's crazy.
Number one.
Well, like the whole first verse is about how she gets money now and she doesn't need to dance anymore. And then in the second verse, she talks about how she's going to get with a man just so that he can buy her things. And it just kind of, to me, like that completely defeats what it is. And then, like you said, to be just so unbelievably polar opposite of Lauryn Hill, who would always like, and not that you need to dress conservatively, I don't care, do whatever you want, but you've got Lauryn Hill, who's like known for wearing like a jean jacket and very conservative clothing, to now we have Cardi B, who is basically like Nicki Minaj 2.0.
Yeah. You couldn't even dress like her in public. I feel like Lauryn Hill dressed like how you would dress in like New York.
Yeah.
You know, like everyday clothes.
Meaningful lyrics to just like party trap music. Like it is very strange to me.
But don't they do this to every type of music though? Eventually. It's like you get the person that just takes advantage of the music, if that makes sense.
Well, you want to know what's crazy is? This song, the person she took the place of at number one was Taylor Swift.
Wow, that's crazy.
Dude, that's the magnitude of how big this song is right now.
Dang, that is wild. I mean, I honestly, it's crazy because it's confusing to me. I feel like that old man that doesn't understand music anymore. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
I can't believe that is above any. That to me is some rudimentary music. Even, I mean, the lyrics are bad, the hook is bad, the music is shit. I mean, wow, that's crazy.
You can have some for me, the cadence and things like that, you can have some saving grace if you're writing some good lyrics, but there is just nothing there. I mean, it's awful.
We should have had Lauryn Hill's song that was number one queued up to give like a mild, like,
I can do it.
This is what number one used to be.
I mean, it is. This song is
that thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's look it up because, man, that is crazy to me. I mean, it's such a stark contrast.
I think you're right, though. I think it's good to have a comparison on it because you go from just what it is.
There it is, yep.
Oh, let's get past the Jolly Ranchers first. Hold on.
You know, my wife just wrote me, texted me while we were doing this, and I think she could. I talked to her about one of the questions, and where it said, "What do you do with an abundance of maple syrup?" And she wrote back, "Throw it away, because that shit's bad for you." That's what she wrote me.
I mean,
dude, this
great sampling, serious talent.
3 weeks since you were looking for your friend, the one you let hit it and never called you again. Remember when he told you he was about to Benjamins? You act like you ain't him, they give him a little trim to begin. Now you think you really gonna pretend like you wasn't down and you called him again. Plus when you give it up so easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it then, and you probably talking out your neck.
I had this album when I was in junior high, and I used to listen to it all the time.
Isn't it hilarious? It's literally, you can almost listen to this as a response to the other video. I mean, she's pretty much talking about you selling out yourself and your body. I mean, it's so crazy.
Hilarious.
women in Philly pen. It's silly when girls sell their souls because it's sin.
Dude, you're so right. That's how now that I'm like, it's hilarious.
Come again. Yeah, a win-win, come again. A win-win, come again. My friend, come again. Yeah, guys, you know you better watch out.
Wow. Isn't it
Unbelievable.
crazy, the contrast? I mean, it's amazing. That this is number one back then, and that's number one now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Serious talent.
That's
So,
crazy.
We're with you, Lauren, huh?
It tells you to not forget about Lauryn Hill, though.
Hey, guess who?
That shit is still good.
Dude, guess who she's touring with right now?
Who, Lauryn Hill? Who?
Nas.
Oh.
And Dave Chappelle is opening some of the shows for them.
What is this, fucking New York's finest?
Dude, isn't that insane? Could you imagine going
that'd
to
be
see Dave Chappelle, Nas, and Lauryn Hill? Dude,
I'd shit my
I'd
pants.
pay $200
I'd
for
pay
that.
way too much money for that.
Dude, incredible.
That would be the shit. Damn. Wow. Dude, I'm mind blown by this. I really cannot believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was number
We
one.
almost didn't talk about this today, and I told you, I was like, no. We have to talk about
Man,
this.
that blows my mind. All right.
All right, so next question. So when I sit down to do these two, the other thing, same thing with the maple syrup question, thinking about what type of person is Googling this. Where is my toolbar?
You know who probably Googled this? Me. I don't even know what a toolbar is. I just recently got a MacBook. I almost called it an Apple laptop because I just don't know.
I almost got an Apple.
I got me one of those new Apples. I recently got one and I fucking hate this thing. But
at least once a week, I get a big rant sent to me where he's complaining because he doesn't know what to do. And your wife and I are both Apple people, so she's like,
I don't know
either she's giving you advice on
always
how to
makes
do
fun
it
of me.
or this. It's so funny.
I asked her a simple task on the computer yesterday, and then she goes like, "How do I save it as a PDF?" And she just started making fun of me like I was an old man who didn't know how to use a computer.
So when I heard this question, the first thing that I immediately thought of was computer class in high school, because we used to do this thing to the teacher in there where me and one other kid, we would go in there, and before we would leave class for the day, we would do a print screen of the desktop on there, and we would open it in Paint and save it as a JPEG, and then make it the wallpaper on the computer, and then hide the toolbar.
Yeah, I remember people doing this.
So she would think that the computer was down. And so then we would go, like, we would leave, and this went on for like 2 weeks, to where we had like 8 computers down in the lab. She was like, this computer, none of these are working, and blah, blah, blah. And she would restart the computer and they wouldn't work, so on and so forth. She finally found out we were doing it, and I got detention for that.
Of course.
But that class, she was so clueless. We would put emulators on flash drives, and we found her answer key that she saved on the network drive, and she saved it under a file that said answers. And so we found it, and so rather than doing any work ever again, we would take these flash drives in and play. Like, I was playing like Super Mario 3 in computer class.
I remember those days.
And then when the test would come around, we would go to the answer key folder, paste all the answers in, and then just be done.
You want to know what it tells you? Just our years apart. Just they're not many, but slightly different. I remember when I was in middle school, what we learned how to do on our computers was get around the firewall. And you know what we did at that time?
What's that?
We were watching beheading videos.
Holy fuck. Like Faces of Death?
Beheading video. It was like around 9/11 type shit.
Oh, wow.
And then, you know, there was like terrorist stuff. So we would get past the firewalls, and it was when like the British dude was getting his head cut, that construction
Oh my
worker
God.
stuff.
Yeah.
And there would be 30 of it. They'd be like, "What are you guys all crowded around over there? We're watching some poor dude get his head cut off."
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, good Lord. We should have been playing Super NES. Fuck.
Fucked up.
No wonder I'm all morbid now.
All right. So next question. How do you fix scoliosis?
Man, that was like the one thing when I was a kid that I was terrified to have, and none of us really knew what it was. I thought it was like nerd disease.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to have scoliosis, I didn't even know what it meant. Or I feel like back then, you would end up with like a shell. You know, wouldn't they have to wear like some back brace?
Yeah.
Because I remember there was one unfortunate kid out of everybody who had it. I mean, everyone who got checked for it, there'd be one poor kid that would get it. He'd have a shell on his back, and we used to call him a Ninja Turtle.
Dude.
We used to harass that fucker to death.
I mean, when you see a picture of what somebody with scoliosis actually has, it is like I feel very bad.
Is
for
it
what
a curvature of the spine?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically look like an S. So I actually picked.
It's probably from shaving their man bits because they can't see down there and they're all curled over like a shrimp.
Or podcasting because both of us have the worst posture ever.
Oh
when we're
man,
doing this.
I'm curled over towards the mic right now. I will have scoliosis in no time.
So I found a video on Facebook this week, and I actually handpicked this question because I was so obsessed with this video that I watched it probably 6 times.
Okay.
I want you to. So there are no words to this. So I want you to narrate what's going on.
Okay. Right now, it's already showing the back of what appears to be a woman. It's showing the back. It's laying down. Oh God! It just took a scalpel and cut in between the 2 shoulder blades. It's sticking what looks to be like an old antenna in its back. Oh God! And now they just and it's like an open tube that gives someone access to your spine. They took a drill down into it. They filled it with some kind of silicone thing after they drilled it. Oh my God! What the fuck is happening?
They're putting
here?
little cams in on the sides of the spine.
So they're drilling into somebody's spine, putting cams in there, and now they're drilling in the lower back. Same thing, putting what looks to be a cam down there. So they're drilling all down someone's spine.
They're dropping these on both sides of the spine.
Okay.
So now here comes the crazy shit.
Whoa. They're opening up a slit that's in between the shoulder blades, and they're threading a wire through all the cams. Are they about to just pull this motherfucker's spine back straight?
Wait until you see the end of this. So
And
now they're literally
drilling
putting
down.
set screws. They're putting set screws in there. This surgery is brought to you by the Home Depot. So they take these handles.
Oh, this is fucking disgusting.
And they crank that motherfucker straight.
Holy shit. This seems so dangerous.
I could imagine.
How can this be okay?
Dude, it's insane. And they close all the little flappies up. And then, so that
This
spine.
was your spine before. Oh my God. Damn, their spine looks so much better. Holy. Wow, that spine is so fucked up looking. They're giving comparisons on the left and right side. On the left, someone's spine from the front looks like a straight up S.
Dude, so...
oh my God, that looks so painful.
The doctor who's cranking that dude's spine, he's like, all right, we're going to strap him down. He's got 1 foot up on the table, and he's grabbing these handles and yanking this motherfucker straight.
Whoa. That was so crazy.
The most hilarious part of that whole thing is the surgery is listed as a minimally invasive scoliosis surgery.
I'd be like, our opinions of minimally evasive are just completely different.
It makes my back hurt just thinking about it.
That scared the hell out of me watching that.
I mean,
that looks terrifying.
They run these little bolts basically all on both sides of your spine, then put wires in there. They tighten the wires down in there, and then take 2 giant handles and pull your spine straight.
Yeah, I always thought that it was a curvature, like if you're looking at somebody straight on. I thought it was like the other direction, like leaning over the way we are.
Yeah.
That isn't what it is at all. It's going left and right. So if you're looking at me straight, my spine is literally going an S left to right. I think I've probably given people that off of bow and arrowing the shit out of them.
All right. So next question. Why is the ocean salty?
I always thought it's because that's where everyone was taking a piss on vacation.
Well, that's probably contributing to it at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So salt in the ocean comes from rocks on land. The rain that falls on the land contains some dissolved carbon dioxide from the surrounding air. This causes the rainwater to be slightly acidic due to carbonic acid, which forms from carbon dioxide and water. As the rain erodes the rock, acids in the rainwater break down the rock. This process creates ions or electrically charged atomic particles. The ions are carried away in runoffs and streams. And basically, the leftover ions are chloride and sodium. So there you go.
Huh, what? Yeah, that was so interesting. Wow. I feel smarter already.
So basically, it comes from the sand.
Next.
I will say, the one thing that I found from this that was the most interesting is if the salt in the ocean could be removed and spread evenly over the Earth's land surface, it would form a layer more than 500 feet thick.
Good Lord.
About the height of a 40-story office building.
I liked that their comparison for like how big it. I don't know what brought them to that.
I don't know.
Like, we need something that's malleable that we can say to these people, and they'll be like, "Wow, that's crazy," and that's what they went with.
Yep. All right. Why am I so tired?
Because you just work so hard.
Now there you go.
Just kidding. You're a bum.
All right.
Why are people way too tired?
So I went to.
They play video games all night and don't eat.
That's part of it, I'm sure.
Is it weird that is absolutely how it is. If you play video games, I have not played video games in a very long time, but if you want to stay up till 2 a.m. and have no problem doing it, play a video game. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can just waste the night away.
I can't do it anymore, man. It's crazy.
That's why people starve to death. You ever seen that? People will starve to death. They'll die from not eating because they're playing a video game. That's how much you can get into this
They
shit.
forget about it that much.
That's insane.
Hey, man, when I was playing Skyrim, it got that way for a little bit. I was like, it'd be like 12 hours later. I'd be like, what's happening? I don't know.
Everyone's like, how'd you lose your weight? Because of the keto diet and all that stuff. You're like, Skyrim.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get away.
I was collecting skulls in Skyrim. All right, so I have the top 15 causes for fatigue from WebMD. Number 1, not surprisingly, lack of sleep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
2 is eating too little.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
3 is anemia. So it happens when the body doesn't have enough red blood cells
that's a disease.
to carry sufficient oxygen. So, and then we have, next page, underactive thyroid.
Okay.
Chronic fatigue syndrome. Sleep apnea. So you're not sleeping very well at night.
Sleeping like shit.
Surprisingly, a urinary tract infection is something maybe causing you to not get enough sleep.
Huh.
So, food intolerance. So indigestion, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Diabetes, heart disease, depression.
Depression makes you tired. Wow.
Glandular fever.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Caffeine.
Caffeine does not make me feel tired at all.
No.
Does the exact opposite.
All right. Lack of water and stress.
Yeah. Yeah, stress is a killer.
Yeah.
That'll make you tired as fuck. Be feeling worn out.
So, I mean, I guess if you're really concerned about it, you should go to the doctor because there are definitely some things that could be...
People must have really Googled that this week. Like,
yeah.
God, why am I so fucking tired?
Well, I bet the change in the season did a little bit of that, you know? You get that change, you're like, oh, it's easier to sleep when it's cooler outside.
Right.
All right. What was the height of luxury to you when you were a child?
I feel like it's whatever was in like a DMX video. Like four-wheelers and gold chains.
So I took this question a little bit differently. So I thought about what my most prized possessions were when I was a child.
Yeah.
And I have 2 that really stick out.
Okay.
The first Game Boy that I got was a Game Boy Pocket. That was like my prized possession for the longest time. It went everywhere with me. I had a fanny pack that I used to bring it with extra batteries. And then so that was not backlit. And so I remember when I was a kid, in order to be able to play on like vacations and stuff in the car at night, I had this thing that clipped onto it with a magnifying glass in the front and lights on it so that you could play Game Boy at night before they were backlit.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So, and I would have to carry extra batteries for that as well. Then I upgraded it to where I had this thing that attached to it. It was like an extra battery pack that was rechargeable. I was like balls deep in Game Boy for a while. That was one. And then I didn't get a CD player until I was almost in high school. So, before that, my tape player, the first tape player I got, I was obsessed with. It was like my most prized possession. And my big thing with that is I used to go to this little store in Brookville and buy blank tapes, and I would sit in my room for hours and listen to the radio, and when they were getting ready to play a song that I wanted to hear, I would record it on that, and I just made mixtape after mixtape.
Yeah, I had a bunch of those too.
Yep. So my first tape player, I was obsessed with as well.
Okay, if I'm looking at it like you did on what was my most prized possession type thing, it's not even remotely close. It was my bike.
Yeah.
I rode BMX from a young teenager through my teenage years. I mean, and we were on like our group of friends that lived in that area that all rode BMX. I mean, that was everything. That's what we did all day. I mean, you got out of school and you were on your bike until you had to come home at night. I mean, and that's what we did every single day. And if you didn't have a bike, you were screwed. I had nothing else to do. I mean, all my friends did that. On my entire block, I'd have to move. somewhere else and have new friends.
Was it
if I didn't have a bike?
That's what's interesting about growing up in the country. So, like the first house that I lived in there was in town, so my bike was important then. But then when I moved, I was out of town, so if I wanted to go somewhere, I typically either needed a ride or I had a couple friends that were close by that I could walk to their house. But it was far enough out that I didn't really ride my bike hardly ever. So like I would just walk if I needed to go someplace. And then when we started skateboarding, I didn't ride my bike at all anymore. So it was like for a couple of years, I would have said, yeah, my bike was important, but it wasn't as important as the other things. That's really, I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
That's how like little I cared about my bike.
My bike was everything. It's how I got everywhere. If I got money, that's what I spent it on. That's all me and my friends did. Our entire lives for years were dependent on those bikes. I mean, it's not even close.
When did you start BMX?
Probably 13.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to think about like when I was skateboarding, so when I was skateboarding, I skateboarded from probably like 7th grade till I was like 16 or 17. Did you stop riding your bike when you got your license?
No.
Okay.
No, I kept doing it. Yeah, that was always a thing that we would always say to each other. Like, yeah, everyone BMXs until until you get your license, and then, but for us, it wasn't really like that. A bunch of our friends, when they got their licenses, that just meant that we got to go better places. So all that did was kind of expand how far away I could ride BMX. So it didn't change anything for a while. What ended up changing for me was just work.
Yeah.
Once I started working a real job, career became much larger than BMX. So then it just became all about career. That's what gave up BMX for me.
The car thing definitely did it for me for skateboard. That, and I broke my ankle so many times, and I just wasn't very good at it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and like, I was like, all right, this is not worth it to me anymore.
Yeah,
and
I wasn't great either.
I have other things that I can do. So
I had a good time, and I rode with a bunch of other guys that were really talented and really good. I just was kind of like around. I rode, did okay, couple cool things here and there, but I was nowhere near as good as everybody I was surrounded by.
I think I just had the wrong personality for it too. Like I don't have the type of personality like if all my friends are doing like a stair set, I'm not gonna jump off a stair set. It's like I just can't like push myself to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So all right,
last question.
Yeah, why did I get married?
I feel like that's the best question to put into Google. Like just all defeated. Like, why did I get married?
I'm going to dodge that question. I'm going to let you answer that.
Why did I get married? Well, it's pretty easy. There was only one girl who pretty much found me attractive in the peak of my attractiveness.
Whatever.
So I did what any mildly intelligent person would do, and that's lock them into a legally binding contract.
There you go.
I think it's pretty simple.
All right. Let's move on to some excitement. All right. So, trailer this week. Lee, this was your pick. You want to tell me how you found this?
Yeah, I pretty much was looking around, trying to find different shit. And then this one just, it really spoke to like my artsy side, because I get like that, sweeping landscapes and well-written dialogue. And, when they do the award shows and stuff like that, I like where you can kind of see, oh, this is clearly going to be in the front running of that. And, just getting everybody hipped who's going to be winning all the awards this year.
Okay.
What you want?
Get your beautiful black butt cheeks to Century City for a meeting.
This has got that Jay Farrow guy in it. So this is called White Famous.
I make room full of people laugh.
I'm Floyd Mooney. Thank you so much.
Yeah, small rooms and small depressing clubs east of the 10, south of Crenshaw. You obviously need a career boost. I happen to be producing a movie with Jamie Foxx. You ought to meet with this director.
I love Jamie Foxx.
I'm making this movie about
me too.
African-American attorney.
It's cool. You can say black.
Oh, no, I never say black.
Oh, good, man. Good for you. That was a test, obviously.
You play the old woman. Wait, what?
Foxy wants you in the movie, man.
What's up, babe? So what you want to talk about? I just want to talk about this whole trip.
I like how Jamie Foxx is wearing a skirt.
You should totally put a dress
Totally
on for
straight
Jamie
face,
Foxx.
too.
Hell, I'd take my dress off for Jamie Foxx.
So, what's the problem?
It's the dress, huh? Everybody always tripping on the dress.
Don't you want to be so famous that you transcend color? Obama, Tiger Woods, Will Smith before the Jada shit.
Hey, Mel, don't do nothing set in space. I'll put on a fucking cape. That's just weak.
Who the fuck asked you?
I fucking asked me.
Not cool, man.
When are you and Mama getting back together?
I don't know, man. It's a waiting game.
You do know there's a fine tradition of African American. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's cool, man. It's just because you're racist. Not like KKK racist, more like well-meaning west of the 405 racist.
Literally my favorite thing ever.
If you got a baby mama, I think that means you have a baby. Listen, do it for your mama's baby.
I am my mama's baby.
Do it for your fucking kid. God damn it.
Oh, you're just another Hollywood douchebag. You get up, I get up.
You know what? Don't ride a carpet.
You know how dope it would be to have a carpet that flies?
Fuck you!
So it's called White Famous, and it has Jay Farrow in it. And did you get out of that he comes off super well? I hated him on SNL. Seriously, his acting was bad in SNL. He was almost never funny. Every time I saw him, I was like, when are they going to get rid of his ass? Because I never found him to be redeeming at all.
Yeah.
And then in this show, he seems absolutely lovable.
Yeah, he seems hilarious. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch that show. Like I was oddly surprised how good it looks.
I love how they're playing on the dude when he says the Blafrican American. Dude, his
like,
reaction.
We need a Blafrican.
His reaction is so funny.
It's pretty good.
All right, so let's do some fight talk. All right. So some fight talk. Which one are we doing first here? Fabricio?
No.
Connor. Okay. All right. So one of the articles we pulled this week, not much fight news. One of them is one of the things we were talking about was Conor McGregor wants to legitimize the title, taking priority over money fights, which we were talking about was something that you were hoping he would do coming back off the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah, and I mean, so what it really comes down to in this whole piece that's written right here is that they finally got him to kind of give mild eyesight of what he wants to do. And he was more or less saying like, hey, I've already done the pinnacle of what would be considered money fights. So now I kind of want to get my mind more set on defending this title and kind of legitimizing everything. And this is what I thought was going to happen the entire time. I think, like, if you listen to Brennan Schaub and other people talk on other podcasts, they were always like, oh, everything's going to change now. He's going to want nothing but money fight on top of money fight on top of money fight. And I think it's just because that's how their mind thinks. That's how Brendan thinks because he's into money chasing and things like that. When in reality, I think that at the end of the day, Conor is a legit fighter, though he wanted a certain amount of money and all this kind of shit. I don't think he ever wanted to make money and then get out. I think he is worried about his legacy. I think he wants to beat the best people in the world. He wants to show that he is the best. Because if he stopped right now, I don't think people would look back on him that positively. He has a couple fights that he won that were huge, but at the end of the day, he's never defended either one of his titles.
Yeah, I want to read a couple quotes that are notable from here. It really kind of gives you an idea of where his mind is. So he says, look, I've got the UFC title to defend, and that means something to me. I will defend that world title. Nathan is there. He's trying to come in here and make all of these demands. If he starts pricing himself out of an event, I will probably defend against the person who wins this interim belt or someone along the line to legitimize it again. I've already gone from the highest of the high in terms of a money fight. Now the question I always get is about defending the belt and legitimizing the sport in the rankings. Maybe now it would be a good time for me to go and do that and shut that side up.
Yeah, and I love that. Because that's really what you need. You know what I mean? I would love to bring some continuity kind of back to the UFC and get everybody back on track that number one contenders are fighting who they're supposed to be. And the whole thing of the money fights, like I can't wait till that's gone. You know what I mean? Like it becomes a talk right now because everyone keeps feeding into that. You know what I mean? That's what everybody talks about. You can listen to the MMA Hour, MMA Beat, listen to Fighter and the Kid, Joe. Everyone talks about how they want it to go back to the best people fighting the best people. Though when a fight comes up, they're like, but that's not the money fight. Like they're defending the money fights thing. So I would love for us to get back to people fighting the people that they're supposed to fight.
Plus, we just need more star power in general. I mean, we're in a weird transitional spot where with the John Jones thing that's going on, Ronda's being out, and Connor's been gone from where he is. We have champions that are there, but we don't have anybody who is like transcending the sport like it was for a while when we had Ronda and Connor both there. You've got those two big names. But right now, I mean, yeah, for an MMA fan, you may be drawing people in, but what are you doing for the general public?
Well, and I tell you, I think a lot of people don't look at it like this, but I think this is the smarter view, what he's doing right now. If you say you were staying on the money fight train, you have him fight Nate Diaz, right? Say that goes however it goes. Maybe he wins. So then you got to remember, okay, since we're staying on the money fight train, well, what's the next money fight? What 170? What is he going to go fight Tyron Woodley or some shit? So you go and fight Tyron Woodley, and then say you lose. Well, Nate's done. You lose to Tyron Woodley. What's the next money fight then?
You just worked yourself out of the career.
Exactly, because at one point money fights have to keep going up and making sense, you know what I mean? But it's not going to get any bigger. He's done everything that he needs to do. He already went down. That's what I like, that he noticed that too. You want to know what continues to make Conor a shitload of money is to just keep fighting who he's supposed to fight. Mm-hmm. Because now if he comes back, to me, he should fight Nate Diaz to get, honestly, that money fight out of the way. I think he should come back, maybe December, January kind of time frame, fight Nate, and then fight the winner of the fight next weekend with Ferguson and Kevin Lee. Then you get that money fight out of the way, that kills that talk, and then he goes back into fighting whoever he's supposed to fight. Because 155 has got no shortage of people that are fun fights. It doesn't have to be money fights. I'm saying people that deserve to be there. You can get Alvarez back in there, you can get Gaethje in there, you got Kevin Lee, you got Ferguson. There's 10 people, honestly, at that weight class that would be plenty of fun to watch Conor against. And they don't have to be money fights. They can just be good fights.
Yeah.
That should be what's pushing Conor's career for the next 3 years, is just fight the queue of 155ers. That will last way longer than these money fights, I can tell you that. Because if he keeps going up in these money fights, there's going to be some people that are going to fuck him up. But he actually manages to look pretty well against a good amount of these 155ers, honestly. I would love to see him against a bunch of these guys.
Well, and if you start losing fights for Conor too, you take away what sells for you the most, and that is your ability to talk trash and be a public figure. When you start losing fights, that takes away from you. You look at what people wanted to say, and as silly as it was, because it wasn't the same comparison, but everybody wanted to bring up him getting choked out against Nate. It's the more of those you have, the more it starts to take away from the ability to talk. I mean, it's different because he's not finishing fights, but look at like Chael Sonnen. When he started losing fights, it's harder to take what he's saying seriously when you have that going on.
But think about this. What carries him further, though? To lose normal fights at 155 or lose money fights? To me, you lose money fights and these big things, that can kill everything.
Yeah.
But if he becomes a Donald Cerrone, a guy that we just enjoy your fighting style, we like seeing you win or lose, we don't care if you lose one.
You could make a career out of that.
Conor could go on, and this time of the last 3 years is done. You know what I mean? He could just be Donald Cerrone for the next 3 years and just be a guy that ends up delivering fights, and people would love him for a completely different reason than what we loved him for the last 3 years. The last 3 years have been the whole transcendent. You know what I mean? He's been this rocket that's just headed towards the stratosphere, and we've already seen that come and go. Now we're almost at a new leg of his career. To me, this should start being at 155, fighting whoever's there. If he continues to keep winning, then he just becomes a dominant champion. And if he loses and wins, I don't think people care. Honestly, do you care how many times Donald Cerrone loses? Do you care if Robbie Lawler loses? If I know Justin Gaethje is undefeated, but in reality, if Justin Gaethje lost, do we care? We don't give a shit. Nate Diaz has lost plenty of fights. Nick Diaz has lost fights. Anderson Silva has lost fights. We still watch these people.
Conor would probably gain fans if he lost a couple fights, to be honest.
Especially if he took the mentality of what other people seem to never be able to do, like a Ronda and other people, of just, hey, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
There are times that I'm going to lose, and I don't give a shit. I ain't going anywhere. I'm here to fight. This is what I do for a living, and I'm just going to keep pushing forward. That's what everyone loves about Robbie Lawler and Cerrone and Gaethje, all these other guys. No one cares that they lose at all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I see the second half of his life being, second half of his career doing, because I don't think he's going to be a long haul kind of guy.
No.
I think he's probably going to be we'll probably get another 3 years of him. If all of a sudden he hit a 2-fight losing streak, you could probably see the end of him. But it's like, say he takes out Nate, fights Kevin Lee, Ferguson winner, beats them, maybe loses to the next guy and wins one, loses one. You know what I mean? We might get another 2-3 years out of him, and I could probably see him being happy enough with his career to just leave. And everyone you'd never be able to take away what he did.
Yeah.
And I was slow to get on the train, because for me at first I thought it was kind of crazy how he got to skip over the 145 Q. It was really bothering me because they were really giving him people that I was like, you're giving him the easier test. And then the harder people were like short notice guys. You know what I mean? Like, I would have loved to have seen a full camp Chad Mendez. I would have loved to have seen a Frankie Edgar at 145. I would have loved to see like a rematch of Max Holloway before he got back up there again. There's other fights that would have been dangerous and fun, and he kind of skipped right over there. And grapplers. There's a lot of different things that kind of happened back then. But I feel like a lot of that I got rid of a lot of that because he started winning some of the big fights then.
The Eddie Alvarez fight, I know both of us. That was
the Jose Aldo one was crazy.
Yeah.
To me. That's when I was like, oh, okay. Well, that is, you cannot take that win away from him. That is wild. That is a huge, huge win. I thought he was going to be outgunned in that fight. Didn't think it was going to go that way at all. And then the Eddie Alvarez fight, I thought the same. I was like, man, this is a guy that's got a little bit more wrestling than the people that have been there in the past, and he's a bigger guy. I feel like he could probably pressure him. Granted, Alvarez fought a pretty bad game plan that just led him into striking, and he got outstruck. But I gained a lot of respect after the Jose Aldo fight. That kind of changed everything. And then his shit talk almost became fun to me. And then I almost got kind of obsessed with his mentality. His mentality, that is what wills him through. And that I almost got obsessed with that. He's like the fucking Tony Robbins of MMA.
His videos outside and like what motivates him, that's what got me more than anything.
Yep.
Because when you hear what his priorities are and the mentality he has, the will to win in life, that is like, it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
He had all of his priorities straight, the family, the career, and he was setting himself up and didn't give a fuck about anybody else. I'm setting myself up. I'm taking care of myself. I don't care what it takes to get there. I will get there. And I watched videos and looked at quotes. I've looked at those before, tournaments and things like that, because I'm like, this is the mentality you need to go into this with, is like, I will not be beat mentally or physically.
Well, what I like about him too is undercover, he's a family man and you didn't really know it. Now it's really obvious because he's been with this girl for a long time and now he has a kid. It's different now, so it's obvious. But before, if you watch something 3 years ago of him, he says little things that I like because I'm married and have a kid now, but I was with my wife 8 years before we had a kid. And he would say certain things like, I'm not going to stop until I give my girl a different car for every day of the week. Until my girl doesn't have to want for nothing. Things like that. I like that mentality. It's like, even though he's talking about money and he's talking about being famous and dressing nice and don't I look good and I'm the best and blah, blah, blah. But in the background, he's not really telling you everything. The reason he wants money is so he can take care of his parents. He can buy his mom things. He can buy his longtime girlfriend thing. You know what I mean? And I like that because I feel the same way. I want to take care of my friends. I want to take care of my wife. I want to take care of my baby. I feel the same way.
Well, it's like it just goes to show how big a support system is too, and how you can't do things alone, because when he talks about, there's enough out there now to, he credits her for saying like, hey, I was about to quit and she wouldn't let me. Like, she kept me going and was there. And, when I was damn near homeless and didn't have any money, like, she kept it alive. And, it just goes to show, like, whether it be a significant other or whatever it is, having that support system there, and we've talked about this before, surrounding yourself with the correct people and having the correct mentality, it can be a life changer.
Yep.
So, all right. So next bit of news here, and then we'll get you out of here. Fabricio Verdum will do outreach in LGBTQ community after homophobic slurs. So it's a little interesting. So Tony Ferguson and Verdum were doing a media lunch and basically went back and forth. Do you want to play the video or you just want to go through it?
Yeah, I mean, we can play a video for a second just so everybody knows. So Tony Ferguson, is fighting next week and Verdum is fighting next week. And in this little scrum, they have Ferguson talking and then right next to him, Verdum is talking. And I don't know if something kind of stressed the situation out before, but Ferguson goes down a road that I don't think you really want to go down, but Ferguson starts saying, like, I don't care if I had beat Verdum's ass, I'd do it right now, or something like that. And then when Verdum goes to talk, he kind of tells him to, like, be quiet. And then Verdum clearly just says, fuck this, and starts just talking mad shit to him. And I guess he's talking in Portuguese at first, and then Ferguson kind of responds in Spanish. So then Verdum switches to Spanish because he's multilingual, bilingual, and, well, I guess multilingual because he speaks English, Portuguese. I think he knows Mandarin
and Spanish. Yeah.
And so, I mean, this guy speaks a lot of different languages.
How much of a mind fuck is that for Tony when he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he like probably says in Spanish, like, sorry, man, you speak homeless people Portuguese, probably trying to talk shit to him. Then all of a sudden he goes, hey, that's no problem. Because at one point you hear him say no problemo. And that's right when he switched. I gotta imagine he was talking Portuguese and then Tony says something in Spanish and then he goes like, oh, I can talk Spanish, no problem. I think that's seriously what happened. I don't know well enough. When this became a thing about homophobic slurs, I had no idea. I know bits and pieces of Spanish, but I don't know, and I didn't study specifically homophobic slurs. So I had no idea that they were, I guess in this he calls Tony a faggot or something like that, and I had no idea. So all of a sudden I saw that there was like outrage about it, and I had no clue.
All right, so let's play a little bit of the video.
Really pushed myself to the limit, and it wasn't going to matter who it was. I could be fighting Verdum for a fucking title, and I could kick this guy's ass. Awesome. It's cool. It's a piece of hardware that I can give for my baby boy.
Porque eu não comi nada antes.
You know, absolutely. Hold on, I'm talking, brother.
Então, vai te foder, vai tomar no teu cu, meu.
What I'm trying to say is,
o problema é teu, se tu falar, fala com o cara aí, vai tomar no teu cu, meu.
Like to say,
tá muito cheio da onda o cu do cachorro, vai tomar no teu cu,
Quando eu estou hablando, necesita cállate.
Esse é o problema, cállate tu puta madre, maricón. No, a mí no me digas así, cabrón, no me vengas a hablar así, que no es así que funciona.
You can see that it took Tony off guard, that he started talking Spanish.
What I wanted to say is fake.
Não, vai te fuder, vai tomar no teu cu, vai te fuder. É isso aí, vai te fuder.
You can tell Verdum is straight up for real pissed.
Não tem, vai tomar no teu cu, é isso aí, ô palhaço. Tu é um palhaço, rapaz, tu é um cu de cachorro, rapaz. Cállate um caralho, vai tomar no teu cu, palhaço. É isso aí, ô
Oof.
Não tem esse negócio aí.
Come on, dude.
Comigo vai falar com a tua divisão assim.
I love this part.
What the fuck you want?
Não vai falar, não vai falar.
Dear
que é o pau no cu?
God.
You and your punk ass.
Não, teu cu, pau no cu, vai te fuder comigo, vai falar assim, ô palhaço.
Big guy, right?
É, big guy, é isso aí mesmo. Não, falei, Cris, não.
So many things going on right here, and I know breaking down a video like this might seem silly, but when Ferguson stands up and says like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Verdum is already standing up because he's pissed. I was telling you this earlier, I never knew how big Verdum really was, because you see him next to other big guys and he seems like, oh, he's just a big guy, and I never realized how big Ferguson is. But when Ferguson stands up and he's next to Verdum, goddamn, Verdum looks 2 times the size of Ferguson. Ferguson looks like he'd be the skeleton for Verdum before you put muscle and fat on top of it.
If Verdum stood up in front of me, I would shit my pants immediately.
He is gigantic. He made Ferguson look so unbelievably little. He would probably just grab Ferguson and just start slamming him off shit. I mean, he's a little guy.
Yeah.
And then at one point when Ferguson says, oh, you're going to sit here and talk shit to a lightweight? Like, that is some beta shit right there.
Yep.
That is when you just tucked your tail. Like, you're talking shit to him. You said if I had to beat Verdum's ass right now, I would. And then you told him to be quiet because I'm talking. And you're saying that he's talking shit to a lightweight? Are you fucking crazy? Like, you started shit with him.
It seemed like Verdum let the comment go. And then it goes to a natural pause in the conversation. Verdum starts to try to talk.
Right.
And then Tony cuts him off and puts his hand up.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Like the child please type thing. Like, you know, like the dinner table. Like, will you shut up? I'm trying to talk to your mother.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was crazy to me. When they stood up, it really blew my mind. I never thought Tony was a large guy by any means.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to watch the video of Tony Ferguson, Verdum, little beef or shit talk, man, when they stand up, it just looks scary.
Well,
and you can tell Verdum has no fear in his face at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't flinch.
Let's be honest
even
here.
The slightest.
I always think when I think about Brazilians, I think about what was going on at the Olympics when people were getting robbed left and right.
Yeah.
Do you really want to fuck with a Brazilian? Like you, no. Let's be honest here.
They're just from a harder place.
Yeah,
I mean,
you are not experiencing that, and I love that we didn't make it there because it was. I mean, there's so many different languages there that it doesn't make much sense to continue the video. But at one point, Tony goes, "Don't make me ankle pick you, bro."
Can you imagine? Don't make me ankle pick you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what Verdum would do?
Verdum would hammer your fucking head into the fucking ground like a railroad spike.
Can you imagine? That was the best thing. That was the best iteration. I've never seen you be so good. Say that he would do what?
He would hammer your head into the ground like a fucking railroad spike.
That's unbelievable and so true. Can you imagine him trying to single leg for Doom?
Dude.
My God, what would happen to you? Oh man, you have seen Verdum beat 6'9" Travis Brown, beat him half to fucking death, choke out Cain Velasquez. Be the first to submit Fedor, submitted Overeem. What the hell is your little ass gonna do? Can you imagine the ass kicking? He would probably make him his housewife.
Well, it's so weird too.
Slap an apron on Tony and tell him to wash the dishes.
He wants to
that has nothing to do with him being Mexican. I might add.
He wants to go grappling with Verdum. That seems like a worse idea. What are you gonna do?
The thing is that this is I think Tony is like a purple belt.
Yeah.
Or a brown belt.
Verdum is a world champion.
In ADCC.
Yeah.
And world champion. I mean, black belt world champion multiple times.
You are a joke.
Are you crazy? And this is no joke. I am a Tony Ferguson fan. I'm a Tony Ferguson fan. I just thought this was a misstep.
Yeah.
I just thought this was crazy. And I know right now he's getting around fight time, so then maybe it's like the tense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe he's just in that mode, that destruction mode of fuck everybody. But then again, I feel like when I see his personality show, he just seems like an odd duck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you get the same thing.
Sometimes
but he just seems like an odd guy.
I think he's trying too hard to talk trash at times.
Yeah.
Because there are definitely times when he says things and I'm like, kind of, I don't really think that's the best move on your part. He gets overly cocky to the point where it's hard to buy what you're saying.
So another thing with Tony Ferguson, staying on the Tony Ferguson train really quick. I know that this has become a thing over the last week, and I don't know if you saw it, but with Ferguson and Lee, everybody's been talking about how it's been disrespectful to DJ and Borg, that's still the top fight. What do you think about that? I mean, just because I know you probably haven't even thought about this.
No.
What do you think about it?
I mean, it's two bigger names in the media than DJ and Borg right now. I mean, with everything that's going on with DJ and the TJ, all that, it's hard to sell him right now, and he's not doing you any favors on selling himself. And one thing about Kevin Lee and Tony is they're both gonna talk, and they're gonna sell a fight. I mean, I'm an MMA fan, and I would be almost more buy into the hype of that fight more than I would. And with DJ, it's like you're getting more of the same thing. You're fighting Ray Borg.
Well,
for
isn't
God's
it weird
sake.
though? It is odd because you would think that the thing that is breaking the record, I should care more, but even being an MMA purist, I don't hate it. It's odd. I feel like I would usually be defending DJ and Borg in the situation, but at the end of the day, you got Ferguson and Lee was the headline of this card originally. And that other fight with DJ and Borg was supposed to be on the other card, and it came over. So does it then just replace it because it is the title? It is breaking the record. I don't know if that gives you leeway to just take over the spot. You know what I mean? They were getting top billing.
I can tell you I care so little that I wasn't really that upset when the fight got called off the last card.
That's what
I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm slightly different.
But I'm not like, I want to see it, but I'm like, do I really care that much? I'm like, oh, that sucks. It was more
it's not that compelling.
Right. It was more from the standpoint of, oh, we just lost a fight.
Right.
It wasn't like oh my God, I can't believe this got called off. I really wanted to see that. I mean, we all know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, and there were fights in the past that DJ's been in where we were wondering, man, what is going to go on in this fight? Last time Dotson did tag him a couple times. What's he going to do against this Olympic wrestler? We had a lot of like questions. Whoa, what is this going to look like? But I feel like with this fight, I don't know if any of us really, I don't believe in Borg's skills enough to take out a guy like DJ. I mean, there's not even any questions in it, unfortunately. I don't know Borg's strength that is going to somehow even test DJ in a multitude of ways, where it was different with other people. Other guys, I was like, what is it going to look like against the wrestler? What's Joey Benavidez going to be able to do this time? What's Ian McCall going to do with this, because it was so close the other time with the draw? I mean, all these other fights, I felt like there were at least some kind of question mark. Did I think he was going to lose? No, but at least there was a question. With Borg, I just don't even go into this fight with a question. It's almost like you're just showing up for a paycheck. Like, as long as DJ is normal DJ, I don't know how in the world this fight could go wrong at all.
100% agree.
So, but when it comes to Lee and Ferguson, to me, do I think it needs to be for an interim title? That's a completely different discussion. I mean, it could go on for a while.
But it's a fun fight.
Short answer is no. But is it a fight that is compelling and fun, and I wonder how it's going to go? I'm all about it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's great. I mean, you can't... It's weird. It's one of those things like when someone misses weight and it's a title fight for one person, but it ends up not being a title fight if the other person wins. I almost feel like that's what this fight should have been. It should be a title fight for Ferguson, because how many... To win 9-10 straight at lightweight right now, I mean, has anybody earned a title shot more than him? It's kind of like if he wins, yeah, he should get an interim title because he deserves to fight the next person for the title, period. That's just how it is. If Lee wins, yeah, he'll have the title, but man, he should have fought way more people, more top guys to earn that.
He's honestly, like basically riding the hype train, which good for him.
Yeah,
but
no, it's totally smart, and it happens like that. And if anything, it's almost like a Conor type thing. You know, you skip the line by beating certain people. More power to you. I'm a Lee fan. I don't hate it, but the point is, it's a compelling fight. I enjoy it, and I don't hate that it's still the main event. I really don't.
Yep, I agree.
Whoa.
Oh, gosh.
Ryan getting right into the heavy stuff.
All right, let's do some shout-outs here.
I got a long one. You go ahead.
All right, so shout-outs this week for me. I wanted to reach out to Danny Lovell. He said some very nice things about the show this week. He thought the What Does the Fox Say? Getting stuck in your head was absolutely hilarious. You actually hated me this week because of that. You told me you were going to murder me at one point this week because it was stuck in your head.
I was singing it all week.
I want to say thank you to Jeff Lepar. He's had some nice things to say about the show. Said he really enjoyed. He felt like it was hanging out with us. Josh Lakes, Luis won gold at his competition yesterday, congrats to him. And then also to Amber Addison and my mom and dad. So thank you.
All right, I got Mark Gegner, Stevie Lowenstein, Enjoy Tour. Happy birthday to little Gunnar Hilton. That's our boy Dan Hilton's son. He had a birthday the other day. Kyle Steele, Blake Stevenson, Tim Curtis, Robbie Starr, Aaron Black, which is a training partner of ours that we don't get to see enough. Unfortunately, he goes on different days than me. I don't get to see him as much as I used to. Love you guys. Thank you to everybody. See you next week. Hugs and kisses. And another thing. I'm just kidding. All right, see you guys next week.